So we all know that Oscar Robertson is the only guy in the history of the NBA to average triple-double for an entire season. Some other things you might not know about Oscar is he basically averaged one for like 4 years. There was a couple seasons where he was like 0.1 rebounds off or 0.4 assists. I mean, if I was him, I would have tried to slip some money under the table to the NBA stat guys and be like, listen, can you just bump me up a little bit to get some more triple-doubles, but whatever. Some more interesting facts about Oscar. Apparently he was a huge jerk, according to Bill Simmons, and for some reason I think that's worth saying. What's also worth saying, though, is I feel that we have 3 players in the NBA today who could actually join the ranks of Oscar in averaging a triple-double. 3 in one season? That sounds ridiculous. Well, we might not be too far away from it actually happening. So who are these 3 names? You saw them in the thumbnail, so I think you have a decent idea. The first one is LeBron James, who's putting up 23 points, 9 assists, 8.5 rebounds for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and given the roster around him as well as his philosophy at this point in his career, this could be the year LeBron finally does it. He's always been around a triple-double, but if he really commits to it, I think he could get it. Next one is Russell Westbrook, which of course, none of us are surprised this is happening. He's only like a half of a rebound off, while putting up 32 points and 10 assists. Russ is a crazy person, and he got a little more crazy when Kevin Durant decided to leave. It's a pretty heavy toll on Russ's shoulders, but up to right now, he's pulling through and then some. And then the final one, James Harden, who I'm pretty sure found the head coach version of himself in Mike D'Antoni. D'Antoni's got him playing point guard. They're running something like a 7 seconds or less offense, a lot of pick and rolls, isolations. And Harden, he is racking up the assists, 13 a game at the moment. He's basically John Stockton, but a lot cooler and also worse on defense. About 2 rebounds away, not too far away from James. And while we're going to dive into those 3, let me also mention Draymond Green, who's actually not far away either. I think with Draymond, he's not the primary ball handler of his team, whereas James Harden, LeBron, and Westbrook are, so I think it's going to be tough for Draymond to maintain the assists over an 82-game season. Now let's dive into this. We're going to start with LeBron James, of course. LeBron is one of the best inside scorers that we've ever seen when it comes to posting up, driving inside. If he wants to get into the paint, it's going to happen. So of course you have to bring help defense, and he's always been a gifted passer. His vision is ridiculous. Not many guys can throw a bullet from across the court that'll hit you right in the numbers, but LeBron's able to do it. And any sort of defense that you throw at him, it's not going to matter. And he's almost automatic when it comes to how he can play within the pick and roll. And I mentioned before how his vision is so good. If you want to try some trickery with the help defense, it's not going to work. He's going to find the open man. And that's just in the half-court setting. In the full-court setting, is there anybody scarier? With how quickly he can get down floor and force your defense to try to match up. And the Cavaliers are basically a smorgasbord of assists for him, as, hopefully I pronounced that right. You got Kyrie Irving, who's one of the best shooters in the NBA. And then there's Kevin Love, a stretch 4, who's always a monkey wrench thrown into how an NBA team needs to play defense against these guys. J.R. Smith, the best player in the history of 2K, especially around like 2K9. He can hit a 3-pointer. We also have Iman Shumpert, whose hair is just out of control at this point. His 3-point shot has actually come around this season, which is huge. There's also Channing Frye, another big man who you have to take account of at the 3-point line. Even though that was a mid-range jumper, don't worry about it. There's a lot of guys that LeBron can pass to on this team. But another interesting thing besides that is LeBron's mentality for this season. And you can see it in the stats, as Kyrie Irving is actually leading the Cavaliers in both points as well as shot attempts. So it seems that LeBron is willing to take a slight more of a facilitator role to allow Kyrie to go off in the regular season and have these big scoring nights. Now, of course, LeBron's still going to be putting up like a solid 23, 24 points per game, but it seems Kyrie is going to be the big shot taker, or at least the most frequent shot taker. So I think LeBron has it on his mind to be more of a facilitator for this team. Another sign of it is also in Kevin Love, who is attempting 15 shots per game this year, whereas with the Cavs the past 2 seasons it's been about 12.5. So they are making it a point to get it to Love more often, and if you watch the games, there's times when they're just giving it to him in the post, and that's from LeBron. So it seems that James has really decided to get everybody else going. So the 10-assist dream really could be real. Now, of course, there's also the boards, where LeBron has always been strong from as well, 8.5 a game right now. But if he wants to get to 10, Tristan Thompson is a pretty damn strong rebounder at the center position. Same thing can be said for Kevin Love, who's getting about 10 a game right now. These guys are going to make it tough. There's going to be moments where they're just swiping rebounds from LeBron. Now, of course, given how much control James has over this organization, maybe he could just tell him to get the hell out of the way a couple of times. It might work, but still, LeBron's going to have to work hard for those ones when they're both in the game. However, the Cavs do run a lineup that could help LeBron when it comes to grabbing a few more boards. Sometimes the Cavs like to roll with a shooting big at the center position. Sometimes it's Kevin Love. Other times it's Channing Frye. When they do these lineups, it's going to get one rebounder off the floor, and then it's also going to allow LeBron to get a bit closer to the paint because a lot of time he'll be playing the power forward position. It allows him to grab a few more rebounds. He's going to have to go wild when those lineups are in the game. So hopefully LeBron says to these guys, hey, back off a little bit, I'm trying to pad the stats. And now to end LeBron's thing, I'm going to show you a really stupid alley-oop attempt by me. Now it's on to James Harden, who is asked to carry a ridiculous amount for this Houston Rockets team. First thing that needs to be said, they suck on defense, and that is going to hurt your chances of grabbing rebounds, because if the other team's constantly making their shots in, it's pretty damn tough to grab it because, well, basketball 101 here, when a shot goes in, you have to take it from underneath your basket. However, the recent return of Patrick Beverley should help, as he is one of the best defensive point guards in the NBA today. And it should make the entire team better because now Harden can defend the not as good guard on the other team where Beverley can take that role over. So that should help him out defensively, get the ball going off the rim, which will allow James to grab a few more rebounds a game. There are some guys to compete with, one of which is Nene. Now there's a chance he'll just get injured or stop caring, so there's always that one. However, Clint Capella is young, athletic, and he seems to give a crap. So that's going to be James's one real foe, if you will, when it comes to rebounds, even though he's on his team. But still, James is around 8 rebounds a game right now. Hopefully, the defense getting better will be enough for him to secure double-digit rebounds. As for the passing, I mean, Harden's ability as a playmaker is just ridiculous. His pick-and-roll game is kind of a joke with how good it is. And because he's so effective at finishing inside, you have to bring help defense, and the Rockets have put together a team around him that just has so many shooters. At any moment, if you want to bring help, someone's going to be open, and there's a decent chance that guy can hit threes. James is going to find him. He's also got some guys for pick and pops. Let's dive into it. I already mentioned Clint Capella and his athleticism. He has more chemistry with Harden than Dwight Howard did in the last season. He can catch alley-oops. Eric Gordon is one of the best shooters in the NBA today, and if he ends up open from James Harden offense, you might as well just put 3 points on the board. There's also Trevor Ariza, who might not be the shooter of Eric Gordon, but he's still pretty damn good. And then Ryan Anderson is a pick-and-pop target. He's someone who can lay back on fast breaks for easy three-pointers. I already mentioned Patrick Beverley. He's also a nice outside shooter as well, another guy to kick out to for James Harden. Even Sam Decker is looking good when he's not getting yelled at by Ariza. But he's also got some guys in the fast break as well. There's KJ McDaniels, one of my favorite players, who will dunk on your head. He's also one of the more athletic guys in the NBA. There's also Corey Brewer, whose entire game is a windshield wiper game. He'll run up and down the floor and hopefully do something good in the process. So I think Harden's assists are going to be fine, as he's nearly at 13 right now. Hopefully Capella gets out of the way a few times, the team gets better defensively, and he can grab himself those rebounds. Also, random question about James. How much of his beard do you think was just a matter of him being too lazy to shave, and now it's just too late and he can't do anything? On to Russell Westbrook, and when this season started, I think he was the guy. He was the one looked at as like, he really could average triple-double this season. He's putting up 31 points, 10 assists. He's like 0.3 rebounds off at the moment. And I think among these three guys, given that he's the most athletic, we could see the most additions of like grabbing a rebound, going all the way down floor, and then finishing with either a score himself, because Westbrook reminds me of LeBron James, funny enough, with his explosiveness and ability to go up and down the floor with the ball in his hands as well as make a play with it once he gets there. But what's also going to help him is OKC is a pretty strong defensive team at the moment, one of the better defensive ratings in the league, and a lot of these guys can run. So when he wants to jet down floor and attack the defense, his teammates can do it as well, and this team is also one that can force some turnovers between him and Oladipo and Andre Robertson as well, so it's going to be a lot of running from OKC, I would hope. As for his personnel, he's got Steven Adams, who's one of the best screen setters as well as rollers we have in the NBA, even if his offensive game doesn't really go outside that much. Victor Oladipo has also been killing it from three, and that was the big question with him because he was never a great outside shooter in Orlando. He's over 40% right now, man. He's had quite a few games of multiple threes made on good efficiency. There's also Sabonis Jr., and I'm saying that because I forgot his first name. He's shown life as a three-point shooter as well, so some good floor spacing. Andre Robertson's the interesting one. He's never really been a good outside shooter. Defenses are going to allow him to shoot. If he can make them pay, great. But a recent addition of Jeremy Grant, who is also another guy on this team who can run up floor and be a target for Westbrook in a fast break. His shooting has been pretty damn good, man. And in Philadelphia, he never had anyone who could actually get him an open look. Maybe now that Westbrook is here and defenses are actually going to help off of Grant, maybe he was a good shooter all along and none of us knew it. That would be huge for them. Now, an interesting one is Enes Kanter, who is going to help as well as hurt Westbrook, because he's going to help him because he's a very good finisher from around the rim. But that Steven Adams Enes Kanter lineup is going to be tough for Westbrook to grab rebounds in because both of those guys are very strong on the boards. And the same fear I have with Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love stealing some from LeBron, it's the same thing here. I think this is the sort of thing that could take you from like 10.5 rebounds a game to like 9.8. It's a huge difference. Well, at least when we're talking about averaging a triple-double. But still, if I had to pick one guy among these three, I think Westbrook might be the one, possibly because he's the one really going for it. I mean, it was a storyline going into the season. I'm sure he heard it. I'm sure his teammates know it. Or he might not care at all. I don't know. But it should be fun. And also, the hell is this image? Is this Anthony Davis being like, dude, get me the hell up out of here. Get me to OKC somehow? I don't know, man. Maybe some rumors for you if you want to go wild on Twitter. But regardless, we have 3 players in the NBA right now who I think have a real chance at averaging a triple-double this season. Some things are going to have to go their way. They're going to have to get a little lucky. But the talent is there. The all-around games for them are there. And it should be a lot of fun.